Hey everyone, this is going to be a very quick video on how I look at my LinkedIn data, and I'll also give you a very quick brief on how you can download it and do this yourself at the end. So I'm roughly getting around, as you can see, 128 monthly engagements and around 12,000 impressions. It's like 37,000 total since January on the impression front. So I'm down on last month. We're only halfway through, so it's expected, but also this has been a very slow month for me in the sense I've not been posting too much, so that's expected. The interesting thing for me is I had some very big activity come January, which is a popular period for people browsing LinkedIn, and although my impressions dropped in February, I did have some good article posts, which I learnt what I wanted to post based off my January data, which I'll go through in a second. And you can see my engagements stayed up high, which is more important to me than the impressions. Where I had a massive drop off, and I shouldn't have done because I also had an article post around this time here, was I stopped paying for LinkedIn Premium, and I noticed a massive drop in it pushing out my posts to people. So I've actually ended up paying for that again. So I'm starting to get those back, and as I'm starting to post again, but that did have a bit of detrimental effect. So if you do want to get your LinkedIn views up, it seems to me, I might be wrong, but it seems to me that you need to be paying for premium to get that push. In terms of my industries, I'm quite happy with this. So IT and services and consulting is kind of top, which makes sense. That's where I'm aiming for. Construction also makes sense given my background in it. And then of course, software development and consulting services and stuff. I'm not targeting a particular demographic, so I don't really pay too much more attention to it than that. I do target certain seniorities, so I'm quite happy with the seniors being on the top end. Entry level and director level, I want to flip this. I want the director level to be more on the second seniority there. So I need to work to get that up and target that audience more. Demographic size, I don't particularly target a particular company size at this present time, so I'm happy with this being relatively even a distribution. I am perfectly happy with that. So in this particular case, what's interesting for me is more where my posts are performing. So I've ranked my top posts by both impressions and engagements. This one here is my top one when it comes to impressions. And this is just a very quick offhand post I just randomly did on my phone without thinking. And I just talked about there being a new wave of BI. And this kind of told me there was a big interest in this particular space, which then got me thinking about doing more. And this is my second one where I start talking about it a bit more. So again, not as high engagement, but higher on the impressions front. So this told me this is something which LinkedIn wants to be pushing. And I also kind of talked about trends as well. So that led me to then create my Next Gen BI series. And one of my highest engagements was one of my posts on this, which was my spotlight on Omni, which did very well, and also pushed a lot of engagement to my website, which was kind of the most important thing for me in this case, rather than the LinkedIn side of things. And that's really where my engagement traffic has been coming from, is that series on Next Gen BI. So that's kind of how I took that initial post, which was just a random offhand one in January, and turned it into something which is generating me engagement and traffic to my website, which has been great. I haven't done too much in March at all, to be honest with you. So I need to be picking this stuff back up. And the way that I look at this data is I downloaded it from LinkedIn. I throw it in a Google spreadsheet, and you can see I've embedded the spreadsheet here in my dashboard. You have to do a bit of cleaning because the dates come in very horrible formats. But I effectively can just clean it here in the dashboard itself. And then this tool I'm using is called Omni, and it just sits on top of my data. And if I want, I can also go in, for example, I could go and explore into this chart here, and I can kind of drag and drop my metrics, create things here and there very quickly. So it's not more than that, to be honest with you. I don't need to do any automation right now because I'm not quite sure what else I want to do with this data other than just kind of simple analysis. And I do this maybe once every 6 weeks, or, just look at this data. I do a download and just drop it all in and then filter on my latest download. The Google Sheet is connected to BigQuery, and Omni is connected to BigQuery. So my Google Sheet is just sitting there. BigQuery points to my Google Sheet destination, and then Omni points to my BigQuery So it's all kind of secure as well. But later down the line, I might just ingest this in or into a lightweight SQL server or something. How do you get this data? Well, you go to your LinkedIn, go to your homepage, where it says post impressions, click. Post impressions again box, click there. You need to filter on the date period you want. This will impact your export. So let's say 90 days. And then you click export and it will download it to this horrible Excel format, which you can then just either play with in Excel or plug it into one of your BI tools like I've done. Hope this helps. Comment if you want to know anything else or if you want some help in doing this.